Hello guys and welcome back. If this is your first time, I hope you will stay. Espero que te quedes. So a student has asked me to do this video to just explain how to roll their R's. So as you know, and you would have seen this before, trilling. Okay, so trilling is a sound that you make when you vibrate letters with your tongue. Okay, it's a vibration sound, the vibrating sound we make when we're learning certain languages. So the first thing I want to start with is that we need to go back to the things that are familiar to us and go back to what we know in the UK. So listen to different people speak from around the UK. So you will recognize the rolling R's in other accents like the Welsh accent or the Liverpudlian accent. I'm not going to try and imitate any of these accents because I am terrible at doing accents. And even more strongly in the Scottish accent. If you listen to a Scottish person speak, go back and listen to the way they say their R's. They're not quite as strong as the Spanish R. So think of it as a softer R than the double R in Spanish. Okay. So as we know, in Spanish there's a soft R, which is a single R, and then the double R, which is where we have problems most of the time. So yeah. So let's go back to the way people talk in the UK. So in the Welsh accent, you will hear people say it. I'm going to try and imitate. I shouldn't because I do it really, really badly. Let's see. A word that begins with R. I don't know. Red. No, that sounds really fun. That's not Welsh at all. I'm not going to imitate it, but listen to a Welsh person talk or a Scottish person. When they say great, we'd say great. They say great, great. It's great. Red's great. Listen to them. I'm not an expert on these regional accents, but listen to the people around you who have Welsh accents or a Liverpudlian accent or a Scottish accent and see how they say it, how they say their R's, and try and imitate it because it's quite similar. And if you can master that, I'm sure that in no time at all you'll be able to do the Spanish double R. Right, so I'm going to start with a couple of exercises that I used to do. Well, I was taught when I was at university by my Spanish teacher. So the first one is, so it's just trilling your lips. So the trill, as I explained, is a vibrating movement that you make that produces a sound. So I'm going to trill the lips to start. So we're going to start off with a familiar sound. So you'll call brrr. So how do we start? I can't do it now. Okay, with your lips. I can't do it now. I'm thinking too much. Right. No me hagas reír, hombre. Mirad los labios. Look at my lips. We can all do this, right? Try it. You try it. Like, seriously, she's just cracking up over here. You can do this. I think we can all do that. And if you can do that, that's a brilliant start because it shows that you do know how to trill. Starting with the lips, that's a fantastic start. Right. So, stop. Don't laugh so much. So basically what you're doing, what you have to remember when you're doing this is the position of your tongue when you're trying to think about how to roll your R's in Spanish, okay? The position of your tongue. Where's your tongue? When you say normal R in English, run, run, run. Your tongue is in the middle. It's curved in the middle. It's not touching the top of the roof of your mouth. It's just in the middle. It's just quite relaxed in the middle. But when you go to do the Spanish R, something else happens. It rises to the top. So the position of your tongue ought to be, so the tip of your tongue the tip of your tongue to the top of the roof, so the roof of your mouth. So here, the rough part of your mouth, the ridge, that's where your tongue ought to be. Now, to find the position in a natural way, you're going to think of words that have a D sound or a double D. And obviously I'm going to teach you the way that I got taught, because I think that's the easiest way, so I don't go on and on and on. Ladder, the word ladder. Think about where your tongue is when you say ladder. Ladder, ladder, ladder. If you can say ladder, and you say it really quickly a few times, ladder, 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 you start to feel the vibrating sound coming along. Ladder, 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 ladder. You see where your tongue is? Ladder, 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 ladder. That's where your tongue ought to be. Yeah. So I think that's the closest thing for positioning your tongue as we're going to get. So ladder, 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 ladder is here. And if you try it, okay, ladder. So the tongue is up here. And so basically what you're doing is you're pushing air out. Okay, so imagine your tongue is quite a floppy thing. Okay, so you're not going to make it rigid. The tip of your tongue needs to be quite flexible. Okay, ladder, ladder, ladder. It's almost as though you're beating a drum, isn't it? So your tongue, the top of the tongue is just so you're pushing the air out. So it's not, I'm not saying place your tongue to the very top of the roof of your mouth and leave it there. It's like perro, perro, perro. It's like touching, but you're leaving a space. Okay, so the air can go out. So ladder as well. Perro, 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 perro. This is just practice, and basically, the more you practice, the more accustomed your tongue will get to this sound. Because obviously we don't have the same sound in English, so we're not so used to using our tongue muscle in that way. So it's just practice, and the more you practice, you see that the more you will, the more natural it will sound. Right. I also used to use, well, we got taught a lot of trabalenguas, which are tongue twisters. And I actually got this cool one offline, online. It's not the one that I got taught. We used to use one that talked about the El Perro de Son Roque or something like that. But I'm not going to use that one because I think everyone knows that one anyways. So this one that I found was El perrito de Rita me irrita. Dile a Rita que cambia el perrito por una perrita. Okay, so we don't roll all the Spanish R's, okay? The single R is a soft R, so it's not as strong. And obviously the double R is the one that we struggle with because it's a lot more evident. Perrito, perrito, perrito. Obviously, you don't have to exaggerate it so much. We do because we're so aware of the fact that we don't master that sound. And I do this a lot. With the single R, sometimes I exaggerate the single R, and then I think, oh, that's come out as a double R. So be careful with that. Okay? So when do we use the strong R sound? Okay? So if this is the beginning of the word, so Rita, Rita is a strong R. Yes? It's a stronger R than say if it was in the middle. Perrito, perrito, double R, strong. Also, at the end of the letter, at the end of a word, so for example, you say, por favor. Okay? Por favor. Por favor. Por favor. Por favor. So the R's at the end, you would make an emphasis and really pronounce those as well. So, you normally pronounce them also after L's, N's and S's. So, alrededor, alrededor, alrededor. So, in the middle and at the end. Okay? This is just practice and practice, guys. And you have to remember that you have to keep your tongue quite loose, the tip of your tongue quite loose, and that make the positions right. So top of the mouth, the ridge of the mouth, the roof. If you put your finger up there, the part that feels quite rugged, quite, I was going to say wrinkly, but quite, yeah, so just behind your teeth, a little bit further up here. R, 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 r.
The part that connects your teeth to the roof.
Okay, so, yeah, if you put your finger, you can feel it. It's a little bit rougher than, it's not as smooth as here. Practice with ladder. That's how we started practicing. Ladder, 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 ladder. And then you can kind of hear it kept coming on. So if you try and practice that, find someone who speaks Welsh or Scottish, as I've mentioned before, because I feel as though when you have someone face to face showing you how to do things, it comes a little bit easier. If you can master the great and red or these things that we do here in the UK, even though it's not as strong, it's not as pronounced, but you can use it the way you would use a single R in Spanish, and maybe that way you'll be able to master it better. Another way to try and master the double R, because as we know, there are a few words that you will get. So for example, okay, if you can, this is dog, right? Perro, okay, perro, perro, perro. If you can master the single R by practicing to do the Scottish accent or the Welsh accent or the Liverpudlian accent, and you can sort of master the R sound that we have in the UK, then try and do this. When you see a double R, try and do it in syllables. So do the first syllable, then do the second syllable, and then try to do it together quite fast. So imagine that this was a D from the ladder sound. Okay, ladder. Pero, pero. If it's one, pero. Yes, pero, pero, pero. Okay, pero, pero. Okay, so after you've managed to do the single R, you try to now unite both of them. Pero, 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 pero. Remember, with one R, it's but, and with two R's, it's a dog. Perro, pero. Imagine it's a D. Pero, pero, perro. Okay, imagine that the R, the single R, is just this. You don't want to say pedo because that you don't want to say pedo, but just keep it in the back of your mind. The sound that you make when you make a D in English. D, pedo, 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 pedo. Perro. It's a lot stronger. Perro, perro. If it's single, bear in mind the D. Pero, pero. Imagine you were saying a D, but not quite. Okay? Put the tongue in the same position and try and push the air through. Pero, pero. So it's coming out through your mouth. Pero, pero. Another thing that my teacher used to do, this is at university, he used to say, put your hand in front of your mouth. If you can't feel that air pushing, if you can't feel the air on your hand, you're not doing it properly. Perro, 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 perro. Okay? Perro. Now, to make it softer, with a single R, perro, perro, perro. A lot softer. So it's just a matter of practicing, guys, because you're not going to get it in one day or the first try or the first week, but don't get frustrated with it because it will come. Okay? If you've got a cat, you would have heard the cat trilling. Cats do this a lot. They purr, don't they? They purr. Can you imitate that? And there's certain things that we say that we just naturally do and we don't think because we're talking in English. Yes? Try and make these everyday sounds that everybody does. Yeah, everybody makes these sounds. But because we're not speaking the foreign language, we don't think that we're doing it. But you are. If you can trill, and sometimes we do trill, but we don't know that we're doing it because we're not talking. Okay? Maybe it's a word that you do. Maybe you can say this Scottish great. That's great, isn't it? That's great. Red. Yes, fantastic. Right. I don't know if I've covered everything because there's so much to go through. But if just in case there's something that I've forgotten, do let me know. And I hope that this will help you in some fashion. And do not worry if your R's not perfect right now, because you will get it. Certainly for GCSE, I don't think they'll ever really mark you down if you can't roll your R's, because as long as it's not hindering comprehension. If it doesn't hinder comprehension, you won't get marked down. If your pronunciation isn't 100%, it doesn't matter. As long as you don't see something like this and you say, El perito de Rita me irrita, dile a Rita que cambie el perito por una perita. If you don't do that, I don't think you're going to get a bad mark. Just try and put some effort into trying to imitate someone's Spanish, and it will come. And another tip before I forget is song. Okay, I used to sing along to songs all the time when I was your age and I was studying. So get a song that obviously you're going to hear lots of songs with amar, amor, whatever it is. Imitate that, sing along, and you're going to see that one day you will get to that point where you'll be like, oh my gosh, I can do it. And it's going to feel like such a marvelous milestone, and you will celebrate, and you will come back to me and say, I've done it. And I'll wait for that day. And so until next time, guys, I hope you will do very well in your exams, and I will see you in the next video. Adios.